Alright, hey guys, I found a new way to torture ourselves. So I have this full-on diversity practice test that you can find online. It consists of almost 150 questions, and today we're gonna go over them. Some of them it's very simple, some of them might not be. Some of them you can tell the right answers right off the bat, some of them might not be able to, but overall it's pretty easy. So your test, your quiz is probably not gonna be this long since diversity is a really short unit. However, let's start. Why is it important to be able to identify species? So this one is a common knowledge. Identify weeds, this is for sure. To infested crops, doctor need to know which species bacteria is infecting which patient. That's true. So right off the bat, we have two answers that we know for sure is true. We're gonna select E. Species concept, we have three, which was phylogenetic, morphological, and biological. So the one that's not here is reproductive. So we're going to pick A for that one. The A should not be it. And then for the third question, what is a disadvantage or challenge in using biological species concept? Another simple question. So these types that don't ask you for knowledge, these are the questions that I think is very easy. So almost all populations are made up of non-identical individuals. Well, that is not a challenge, actually. That is why we have the biological species concept, which is pretty simple. It's a relatively, that's a description right off the bat. We cross that out. That does not even care about this. That doesn't even relate. Plants are classified using this method. That's a description, so it doesn't relate. We're looking for a disadvantage here. Evolutionary histories are not known. Okay, so that is a possible advantage, but we're gonna keep looking. It cannot be up to organisms that reproduce asexually. Ooh. 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 Okay, so I think in this case we're probably going to select E since we don't really need evolutionary history. We're looking at biological species concept. If you remember, it defines the species taxon as a group of organisms that successfully interbred and produce a fertile offspring. So we don't really care about ancestors. We just need to know, like, hey, this came from that came from this. So I think this one is the biggest challenge. So always when you're doing multiple choice, we look for the biggest challenge. We don't look for the smaller one. We look for the bigger one. So I'm gonna put E as this one, and there is an answer sheet at the back of this. So, and I will be explaining all of this. So if you should try to do all of these questions first, and then if you have any questions, you can look over this. What is it? This phylogenetic. Okay, so almost all populations are made up of. Oh, so we're getting the same choices. So, wow, that is um that is really cool. So this part we need evolutionary history. So for the phylogenetic species concept, we need a clear evolutionary histories. That was one of the definitions, and now we know D is for sure correct for this one. Yay! Which of the following is not a morphological? So remember, and by the way, these three actually literally just gave you the answer for this one. So look over the questions before you answer it. Now, morphological is size. So right off the bat, we don't know how the hell this guy produces. We don't know how he reproduces offspring. Maybe he just produces it asexually. So right off the bat, we know D is our one out. Scientific name of an organism, genus and species. This is the naming. We should always know binomial naming, binomial nomenclature. This was the part I hate the most, but you gotta know this. It's always a genus and a species. So right here we have C. If that is correct. What is wrong with the ways? Oh, the second one shouldn't be capital. Binomial taxonomy again. So right here, D. So this one's C and that one's D. You could check with whatever the answer sheets. Correct order. Ooh, so this one, usually we just start on this side. most general to most specific, so we always know that domain is like literally always there. So now that literally just cures out three options. We only have A or C now. Answer's pretty clear. Film is definitely above family, because family it needs to be, it was, well, the thing is, I always remember it as species and genus and species because that's a binomial naming, and then the one above it was family. And if this match, and with your prior knowledge of domain, kingdom, family, genus, and species, you get those five positions right, you're always going to know what's in the middle. Like, you don't even need to know what's in the middle. Like, this is what's going to happen. There is no way that they're going to make all five things completely different arrangement. That chance is extremely low, and I really don't recommend you actually memorizing that. That is just a waste of time. Which of the two organisms are closely related? So with your answer from this question, we're going to go ahead and crack the code. So let's see, what is the closest? See, this one is the closest. So because this here, genus is very specific, and we look at this, organisms in the same genus but different species. So phylum was right here, class was right here, kingdom was all the way up there, family is down here, so we can tell that genus is the most specific right there. E. Which set of organisms should belong to the eukaryotic domain? Okay, so when we see a bacteria, so this is a fun game. When we see a bacteria, we just cross it out immediately because bacteria are prokaryotes. If you didn't take that away from this course, that is, I can't tell if it's a failure of me or if that's a failure of you. Bacteria, cross out. This could possibly be archaea, cross out. Bacteria, cross out. Both of these, wow, cross them out. The answer is B. So I always recommend that if you look through all of the options before actually selecting one, unless you have one of these, all of the above, and you're like, hey, I got two right answers, that's crazy. We're just gonna pick all of the above. Okay, so that is B right here. What type of evidence is used in modern taxonomy? Anatomical, physiological, and DNA. None of the above and all of the above. So, as I just mentioned, all of the above, in this case, might not be correct. So, what type of evidence is used in modern taxonomy? Actually, I'm sorry, that is all of the above. See, I told you guys, all of the above always work. Whenever you see that option, I'm selecting it. Hell yeah, right away. Okay. How does a phylogenetic tree show common ancestors? Whoa, it even gave you a phylogenetic tree. That is so cool. Okay. Common ancestor. Branches of species with a common ancestor start at the same fork. I think that's literally there. This is a lie. This is a lie. This is a lie. This is a lie. So I think your only right answer is 12A. Yep. Refer to the illustration above. Which of the following statements is false? Red panda are more closely related to raccoons than giant pandas. That is true. Polar bears are more closely related to giant pandas. That is also true. They come from this branch, while red pandas all the way over there. Red pandas are more closely related to polar bears. That is a big fat lie. So C is only one out, but we're gonna read the rest. Raccoons and bears. That is definitely true. All of these dudes share the same ancestor. Black bears and polar bear have a common. Oh, okay, that's just dumb. All right, it gave you two free options, so 13 is C for sure. Close evolutionary relationship between dinosaurs and birds was shown through which type of evidence? So I would be fine if you said like. Actually, no. It's probably only morphological, but if you did say like something they evolved and common ancestry, sure, but I would only say it's morphological because that's what we actually have concrete proof of, since our biology world is still developing. Similar bones are found in arms of humans, legs of horses, fins of whales. What does this tell us about their evolutionary relationship? Wow. So they have very similar DNA, they share phylogeny, they share a common ancestor. Wow, right off the bat, when you have the same sort of stuff, same structure, similar bones, that's directly telling you common ancestor. Like, this is a lie because there's no way that you're going to be related to a horse and be like, hey, that's my cousin right there. No. Phylogeny, there is no way that we came and we share the common ancestor from birds, all right? We all know that we came from monkeys, and the birds probably came from dinosaurs. So there's no way that a monkey could have flown or fly in the sky. So absolutely not. Right here, that's A. Yeah. Similar bones are found in what type of what? What type of oh, okay, morphological. Again, this is simple. I just mentioned they morph differently, morphological. Scientists hypothesize that fungi are more closely related to animals than to plants. What types of evidence is hypothesis based on? Well, we taught this in class, but just in case you didn't remember, it's DNA. So first we look at morphological. Let's be hella honest. There's no way that you look at a fungi and be like, "What? This looks like a plant." No, that's not how it works. Physiological, no. Common ancestor, no. Evolutionary, did it evolve like it? No. Right here, that's your only option because first, scientist. And when you see scientist, you gotta think more professional. Anatomy. Anatomy is the study of physiological similar characteristic, chemically. Okay, right off the bat, cross that out. The study of structure and form of organisms, chemical. Wow, bones. Wow, no. We're left with only A and C. So we look at this physiological similar characteristic. That is too specific to be anatomy right there. 18 is C. 19. How is DNA used to determine? Wow. So this was actually a good question because you didn't learn about this yet in grade 11. But however, you should know that all of these are quite wrong. So the number of each type of base, that is, like, you don't know what that is, but like it's too specific right there. Number of genes, there's no way. Number of chromosomes, like, we have relationship to monkeys, all right? And we all know that monkeys, they don't have 46 chromosomes. They have 48 chromosomes. So we can't compare that. What is an ancestor? Oh, I skipped the question. How is DNA? Oh, wait, I didn't. So it was E, by the way, guys. This you learn in grade 12 that human were made out of ATCG, and sometimes, sorry, not you, but we all know that it's ATCG that's acting in us in our DNA nucleotides. Very simple. And this is how we know that we are related to somebody. Ancestor, this is English class, so somebody that's older than us. Not that. Not that. Not that. An organism from which group are descended. Exactly. A, right there. Why is pig insulin used to treat some humans with diabetes? So, insulin is something that we need to go ahead and break down sugar, if you didn't know. So, when we know that we can use someone else's insulin to help us treat diabetes and give us the ability to break down certain sugar, it's B, because we are related in some ways, then we can use it. Which kingdom was not recognized in the 1860s? So we all know that right here, our protist friend, when we have a thing that don't belong in any other group, we throw them in protist. Of course, it's C. It's the latest one. Which one contains organisms that were originally thought to be plants? So you absolutely don't need to do this, but it's the fungi. You don't need to remember how the domain and kingdoms they evolved, but you just gotta know that, hey, it's there. It was like this. Which kingdom has chitin in their cell walls? That just gave everything away. Chitin in your cell wall. That's right here, fungi's friend. That's the only one that has chitin in their cell wall. Well, that's potentially they could, but you know, they're heterotrophic and they're eukaryotic organisms and chitin, so that makes it right there. Fungi. Plants are autotrophs, so they're out of the picture. Which kingdoms have heterotrophic with no cell walls? No cell walls. Animals. I think we should know this from grade 10. Even if we drag a grade 10 on this test, you should be able to do this. Alright, we're gonna finish this page and then I'm gonna go on to the short answers because this is so easy and I'm sure everybody should be able to do this. Autotrophic, multicellular. Wow, cellulose. We know this. This is plants, guys. B, yay. Mostly okay, right there. Bacteria. If there's no archaea, we just pick bacteria. Simple. Not created until fully, carefully analyzed. Okay, so 28. You shouldn't know this, but if you use some common sense, animals were given DNA right away. Nobody analyze it. Fungi know. These are all from nature. This is something that we don't know so well of, and this should be the right answer to this question, which is A. Two prokaryotic. What bacteria are archaea? That is so easy. So B. Which of the following describes? There are many 30 is just A. Right off the bat, two-part choices. It is used to identify individuals or species. That is also true, actually. Wait a minute. It leads user to a correct identification. It is a system. I think 30. They might have. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like this is probably E, all of the above. However, the answer sheet probably put this as A, I believe, because I looked at it earlier. So it's supposed to be E. Yeah. It's supposed to be E. Which steps would you take in a dichotomous key to identify the following? 1B. Okay, not aquatic. Oh, dogs. Dogs. Okay, okay. So we're just identifying dogs. Okay, they're not aquatic. They don't have gills for sure. 5. They do not have a lung. What does that mean? Walks on 4 legs. Go to 6. Wait a minute. What does this mean? Not aquatic, go to 3. Walks on 4 legs, go to 6. Does not have hooves, right there. So we take 1B and we take 3A, and then finally we have 6B. So 1B, 3A, and 6B. B right here. Alright, that's kind of it. Well, I'm gonna wrap up for the multiple choice. They're so easy. Oh, there's a plant one. Okay, so you don't really need to know this, but you should actually, yeah. Alright, let's do 10 of these matching. Variety of species. So first, all I would do is identify how many actual stuff we were given and how many need to match. So right here we actually have 10, so we don't have anything left, which is very cool. So for matching, variety of species, genes, or structural forms. So which one does this mean? Species, of course, not morphology. No, this doesn't describe anything. Taxonomy. No. Genes, genus, that's a specific group. Rank, no. Taxon, physiology, anatomy, diversity, yes. So we're looking for a word that could describe this here. All of this are specific concepts. The only 2 description is anatomy and diversity. So right here we'll put J. I can't edit it, but yeah. Study of physical and chemical process. That's metabolism. Wait a minute. Study of. Wait a minute. That's, yeah, sorry, physiology. I was like, wait a minute. I thought that was I thought that was a metabolism, how human have enzymes and stuff. But yeah, physiology is the closest one here, I guess. Study of structural form of organisms. That's anatomy right there. Simple. You should know this. This is English class. Body shape, size, and other structural features. That is body shape, size. Another structural. I feel like that's probably morphological because we're looking at the physical descriptions instead of like how they reproduce and stuff. A group of organisms that could interbreed and produce viable offspring. Species. What? Species. Simple. A group of closely related species. Genus. Okay. Okay, that's pretty simple. 7. Identification. Identification, so that's taxonomy. Because we're identifying something. Evolutionary history. Ooh. Phylogeny, right there. Honestly, this is pretty simple. Once you get all of this down. A named group of organisms. That should be taxon, if I'm not wrong. A level in a classification scheme. Rank. F. And that should be it. I don't think I took anything wrong. Or am I not missing anything? I used diversity. Use anatomy. Use physiology. Taxon, rank, genus, taxonomy. Phylogeny. Morphology. Species. Yeah, I think I used all of them. Okay, let's go ahead and hop onto the short answers, and that's it. Yeah. Let's do one. Explain why is it more useful to use a species name than a common name. Okay. Yeah. So when we are scientists, or hopefully some of us, maybe we will go into bioengineering and go into pre-med or med school. So when we address something in the hospital and we'd be like, hey, there's a dog that's sick. We don't know, absolutely, we know nothing about it. We're like, hey, that dog is sick. What type of dog? Well, we don't know what type of medicine to put on it. We don't know how we should cure it, and we don't know if it has some type of genetic disease. So specific type of species, they have different types of genetic arrangement, meaning they could be more viable to a bacteria or more viable to like a vaccine or whatever. So it's very much more useful to use a species name because it's very specific and we clearly know which one we're talking about. Easy. Cheetahs and jaguars are big cats, okay? They can interbreed successfully and look very similar to one, okay? Africa and South America. Are what? I'm sorry, what? Okay. Okay. No, they are not. So they cannot. Wait, hold up. Can they interbreed though? So we don't know if they can interbreed. I would be fine if you say no, they cannot interbreed, or if you say, well, yes, they look the same. But I think most of us would say yes, you look the same because, well, they are the same thing. Well, they aren't the same thing specifically. They're different types of species, but yeah. You carry it. So, okay, guys, we've done enough. We did this in grade 10. There's no way you don't know how to do this. Membranes, bunch of organelles, no organelles. Oh, did I just? Yeah, did I just skip something? Okay, now I went to the bottom. Ooh, okay. No organelles, no nothing. Okay, no organelles, no nothing, just absolutely nothing. And yeah, that's pretty simple. We're missing a bunch of stuff in prokaryotic cells. So 4. Identify 3 ways which viruses differ from prokaryotic cells. So virus, we learned that they're like literal parasites. They cannot survive outside of cells. They need their host cell to actually survive. They need their host. If they don't have a host, they die completely. And virus, they have genetic material, they reproduce in some way, but apparently some scientists in our world, they do not consider viruses to be living. Unfortunate. 5. Compare, contrast, lytic. Okay, so this is simple. So we're gonna look at the similarities there. I would say personally they're both experienced by bacteria. That's pretty obvious. Lytic cycle on the one hand, it's triggered and it causes immediate insertion into host and replication that leads to many of the bacteria cells being replicated and produced. Lysogenic, on the other hand, it's like you're hiding, you're lurking, and you're waiting for this one trigger of, let's say, emotional stress, and then boom, so much replication is now there, and bam, you just have a whole bunch of bacteria starting up, and that's why a lot of viruses tend to hide. Now, our last question that we're going to do here, show the following stages in viral replication from 1 to 5. Okay. So I would say attachment is definitely first because we're attaching to the host and then we're entering the host and then we're replicating inside of the host. We're assembling our parts inside of the host and essentially we're booming, release all of the stuff that we have duplicated and all that. We're going to look into the problem. The diagram below names 5 different species of lizard. Okay. What is the diagram an example of? Okay, so that's a phylogenetic trees. So the only two things that we learned how to classify these, how to classify species, was phylogenetic trees and what was it? What was the other one? Dichotomous key. Yeah. So your only two answers should be dichotomous key, but in this case, or phylogenetic trees. But in this case, there was no question, no nothing, so you know right away, phylogenetic trees. Which two organisms are most closely related? So this one, big branch, these two are related, but they aren't so close because they have this gap here, another gap here, and these two have this whole gap here, but you realize this gap is so small. They breed it here once, so this species here, it evolved one into this, some into this, some into this, and then here it evolved into these two. This one species broken down even further into two, so these are more related to each other. So the answer should be C, Dragonites, and U, Scorparia. What evidence would be needed to show their related traits? Well, we had learned about species concept, whether they look similar, they can interbreed naturally, and DNA evidence. That's it. Simple. I will attach this. I will attach it always like by the link, and then you have to put the HTTPS in front of it because I can't do it. YouTube doesn't let me do it. So yeah, here's the answer sheet. So it has some of them, and it has some answers. They might vary, and some of this multiple choice is wrong. So if you feel like it's wrong, maybe search it up or even ask ChatGPT. All right, that's it for today.